When you are on your way of becoming the greatest version of yourself, the greatest man that you can be, you will start to feel lonely because you will not resonate with a lot of people. You will have distanced yourself already from so many people, including girls. But when you're on your journey of becoming the greatest version of yourself, you should reject almost any girl. And that is with good reasons, because most girls will not match up to the level that you aspire to be. Now, you need to stop chasing girls because they are not your focus. A girl will come your way when the time is right, 100%, because great men in the past never chased women. If you think of Alexander the Great or you think of any other conqueror, they never went out to get girls. A girl appeared in front of them while they were out on their war. A lot of marriages in the past were because of political reasons. Not necessarily because they love them also. Is that the best way to live? No, of course not. You need to be loving, you need to be present. You don't want to build up a relationship like a bond out of like just sheer intention of benefit, you know? Like of political benefit or from like some materialistic gain that you can get out of it. But on your journey of becoming the greatest version of yourself, you must neglect going out with girls, neglect chasing them, because the thing is, you know already that you don't have a lot on your name. You're still in development. You're still working on becoming the greatest version of yourself. So every time you will meet a girl, you'll definitely always want to go for a girl who is either slightly above you, and if you can't get her, you will settle for somebody less. But you definitely want the best of the best. So what will you do? You will start pretending that you're better than you actually are, which means that you are starting the relationship off of a lie. If you find out that the girl has been doing the same to you, you would instantly dump her, wouldn't you? Yeah, because you're a person who has respect for himself. But it's hypocritical if you're then somebody who starts that intimate bond or just approaches a girl with the intention of I'm gonna be somebody that I'm not, when you know that if she would have done the same, you would have disliked it. So why would you do something to somebody else that you don't like? You know, I've met many people in my life who did this. I had a whole friends group who like to pretend that they're somebody that they're not in order to gain the attraction of girls. And I saw that with friends of mine, and it kind of made me lose respect for them, because what do you gain out of it? You gain a little bit of pleasure on your willy. And then what? When she finds out that you're still a loser who plays video games, who's struggling with masturbation, who doesn't have the money that he pretends to have, then she will like not be interested in you anymore. It's the same thing with you see a beautiful woman, but you see that she has a lot of makeup on. And then when the makeup is gone, you're like, ugh, what is this? You know? It's the same thing. A male's makeup is the materialistic benefits that he can present. And a lot of girls sadly fall for this. But like really high quality girls, they won't necessarily fall for this, especially if they are like more spiritually attuned, because they know that the materialistic benefit of life is not really that big of a deal. It's nice to have it, but it's not the main source, because you still need to be loving, you still need to be caring, you still need to be present. If you don't have these attributes, then the relationship is due to fail anyways. And this is what most people also feel. Like I myself didn't have that as well. And I was lost for a big part of my life. Like I desired girls, I desired to be around women, but I was not the guy yet to be able to do that. And I'm not even going to say that I'm the guy yet to do that. The only thing that I knew that I needed to focus on to make myself better is to educate myself, to make myself smarter, to be more spiritual, to be more loving, to be more caring, to practice all of these skills, to practice being surrounded by people, to practice being a human being. Because chasing pleasure never brought me any good things. Like I have a repertoire of choosing instant gratification over delayed gratification, and it has never helped me in my life. Never. And most of the time, when I think back on it, I regret it. And I think like, why did I choose instant gratification when I knew that I had to choose delayed gratification? But in that moment, you know, you don't really think about it. You're just like, oh, I want pleasure, you know, I want to feel good. You make all of these weird and strange excuses and rationalizations to why you deserve to be dating a girl right now, why you deserve like to smoke that joint, you know, to relax a little bit. Why you should call in sick at work, you know, you deserved it. They didn't want to give you your day off, and you decide for yourself, no, I need that day off and I'm going to take that day off. Well, it doesn't really work like that, does it? You don't want to be like the guys who do this. You know, you're a young, ambitious man. You're driven. You're passionate. You want to make it in life. You want to do that what is necessary to reach your goals. Life is hard sometimes, but you should not facilitate it with like cutting corners, because it's never going to be in your benefit. Never. Take me as a representation. Cutting corners has never helped me in my life. I used to be someone who didn't take these things serious, and I would lie about the smallest things, but eventually lies compound. And when you start living a lie that is built, when you start living a life that is built off of a lie, then every decision that you make then will just be surrounded on a lie. You will have to lie in order to lie again. Like there was a story that a friend of mine told me. He was looking for a job and he found a job. He found like somebody he could work with, and the employer wanted to fake his CV. So he wanted to fake his experience in order to get him a job with somebody else. Like he had a customer, a client for him, but they were looking for somebody who had specific skills. And he didn't have those skills, but his employer tried to pretend that he did. And then he had to go there with the client and tell them like, yeah, I have all these experiences. And he said like, listen to his employer, I'm not going to do that. This is a lie. You know, I'm not going to build my career off of a lie. This is not how I want to live my life. This is not how I want to get things done. Like he's also a very religious guy, and he said, no, I feel guilty towards God. I feel guilty that I have to pretend that I'm somebody that I'm not, because they may not know. We can fake a lot of things and a lot of documents, but this is not how I want to, like, God knows, and I don't want God to see that I do this because I feel guilty, and it's not the right way. And it was also like in a safety job. So if he lied about that and he took on that job and he pretended to be that guy that he is not, then eventually if something would have happened and maybe somebody had an accident or he would have died, people would check up on those documents and they see that there are no documents or that there are fake documents. And then they start questioning, how is this possible? And then at the end of the day, he's the guy who I'm talking about, the friend of mine, he's the one who would then have to pay for everything. Because he's the one who still decided to do it. And that's why you also need to be so extremely responsible for the decisions that you make. Even if somebody tries to direct you onto a path, you're still the person who decides to follow that or not. So that already displays how much strength and power you have as one individual person that decides where his life is going to go. Like, you definitely want to stop chasing women. And how does this all tie to chasing women? Well, first and foremost, you don't want to live a lie while you're going for girls. Second of all, there's something else you need to chase. You need to work on yourself. You need to work on your development. That is the only way that you can really grow. Because this mindset of chasing girls is only a distraction. It is instant gratification because you're trying to have something that you don't deserve yet. You're not that person yet to have that, especially not the type of women that you want. You want to get married, you want to have children. But also, most girls don't even want that. Most girls are like trapped in this degenerate lifestyle that society is promoting. And many guys are like that as well. And especially if you live like in the West, it's going to be really hard to find somebody who meets up to your criteria. Like, you yourself are probably in some parts a degenerate. Probably. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the case, and it is possible, because we are all like brainwashed by society to believe that masturbation is good, to believe that we should have casual sex, that we should already start interacting with girls when we're 16. You could talk to girls, you could be interacting with them by just being social with them, but you shouldn't start something with them. You should not chase them either. You should not run behind a girl and trying to get their attention. No, that's not what you do. That's not what men do in general. A man works on building up the foundation for his family and his tribe to survive on, to feed on, to live for. If you're chasing girls, you're not doing that. If you are a real man, those things will start coming to you, because people will notice all the efforts that you are putting in. Everything that you are doing will not be for nothing. And sometimes you will have those days when everything seems futile. Like I had that last week. My last week felt like everything just wasn't making sense, you know? I was recording videos and it felt so inauthentic. I was recording videos and it felt so strange. I felt like I wasn't really putting out the value that I wanted to put out. And that entire week just felt like, I just felt strange. If everything crumbled, I wouldn't care. But then again, I would. And that was just my emotions that were trying to get the best out of me. But you will have those moments when everything seems futile, when everything seems like it's not moving forward. And it's usually during those moments where you'll have that desire to start chasing something pleasurable, because you want to feel good. Like, you want to feel like life is moving forward. And then guys have this idea that, oh, if I want to feel like life is moving forward, I need to get a girlfriend. But then don't forget that having a girlfriend or having a wife is a full-time job, and it requires you to be like, I don't even believe in the term girlfriend. I don't even advise anybody to have a girlfriend. If you want to be with someone, you should marry that person. Why is that? That is because you then leave the door closed. Like, you don't even leave it open. The door is closed. There's no getting out of it. And that will make sure that you work yourself to become a man who can then attract a specific quality of woman who can go to maybe a different country, a different like continent, where he can find the type of women that he looks for, that he can then settle down with and have children with and raise amazing, beautiful children with, intelligent children. Having a girlfriend, what is that? You know that most relationships, most boyfriend, girlfriends, they don't end up together for long, especially not in today's society. And you want to avoid that. Like, I don't advise that. Don't get into relationships. Get into relationships if it's marriage and brotherhood, but don't get a girlfriend. Like, don't. It's only going to be a waste of time, especially if you're young. If you're 16, 18, 20, most girls are not even that intelligent. If you are a very intelligent man, the girls that you want are most likely 27, 26, 27, maybe 25. You'll find a girl who will be at your level at the age of 20 is almost impossible. And the girls who are 26, 27, they will not date you if you're 20 because you're just too young for them. They can't deal with that. And they know that you still have so much to build for. So you just have to keep developing yourself, being patient, working on yourself. And then one day, you will find that person who will match up to the criteria that you want of a woman. But never chase them. Never, it will come to you. It's really strange, but, it's basically the law of attraction. I'm going to go into this woo-woo part of aspect of this entire video. But it's one main thing to remember. When you chase something, that thing will avoid you because you present yourself as needy. But when you are focused on something else, you're not even thinking about it, eventually the things that you really want, they start coming to you. For example, if you start a business and you are messaging everybody inauthentically and you're trying to get like a sale for your business and you eventually get into sales calls or you meet up people, they will know that you are needy for the money and that you don't care about them. But when you start a business with a reason, with a purpose to solve a problem genuinely, and you really put out everything that you can, give it your all without expecting anything back, that is when you start getting the money. That is when you start attracting the people to you because people can feel that energy. People can feel it whether you are being authentic or inauthentic. And currently, when you're chasing girls at the level that you are at, you will not get them. Not. Completely not. They will know that you just simply desire sex. Don't let sex be the main drive of your life. Aim for purpose, aim for meaning, aim for becoming somebody who will solve a specific problem in the world or in his family, in his community, doesn't matter. But spend your time doing something meaningful. And then the relationships that come out of it will also be meaningful. Because if you start settling for less, everything else in your life will be for less. You've already allowed yourself to start chasing a girl who's not even at the quality that you want it to be at. So what will that make out of everything else in your life? Everything else will be of lower quality. Let these thoughts that I'm telling you sink into your mind. Look at everything that you are doing in your life. And please, for God's sake, respect yourself. Don't fall into this illusion of degeneracy that society is putting onto you. You're way better than this. And the road of the ambitious is painful. It's lonely. It's not nice. We have to remember that you are here for meaning. You are worth more than you can even imagine right now. And every little bit of work that you put in today, in 1 year's time, that will show its results. And then when you do that consistently over the next 5 to 10 to 20 years, investing it into something that always has been of meaning for you, imagine what kind of man you will become. And everything else you could have right now is irrelevant. Even in 20 years from now, that what you can have then would feel, I believe, not that big of a deal as what you could get in the future. Because you know that more is coming. So I hope that this message could have been of value for you. I hope that you could have resonated with it because a lot of guys just want that pleasure. And especially as ambitious guys, you want that pleasure, you want that desire. You want to scratch that itch. But be careful. Be careful to not fall into the trap of society. Be careful not to fall into the trap of chasing something because you see everybody else chasing and they're having success, but you don't want to be the same like them anyways. When you analyze their lives, they're not of the quality that you want your life to be at. And it's nice, status could be seen as somebody who can attract a lot of girls, but then ask yourself, what kind of girls are they? And what did that guy do in order to attract those girls? And you will see that most of them who attract those girls, they are only spitting game, but it's inauthentic game. They're selling lies. And eventually it will fall off and the girls will find out, or they will never find out, but that guy will simply move on to the next one and to the next one, to the next one, and continue this degenerate cycle. And that seems like, ooh, cool, nice, huh? But it's not. Imagine how many lives you are breaking. Imagine how many lies you are selling. And then imagine how that would be when you stand in front of God if you're religious. Imagine on the day of judgment when you will be confronted with the fact that you've broken more lives simply for your own pleasure than you've done fixing lives and solving issues within the world. I hope this can sink into your mind. I want to wish you a very nice day, and remember that you are 100% responsible for the results in your life. Make the hard decision today, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye-bye.